Alright, these are my two audience members. These are my note cards. And then, alright, so, do you remember how mystifying it was the first time we heard about dodo birds as children? The great mystical animal that once went extinct long ago? How about polar bears? Those ones are a bit more recent, and I think that we have an even greater appreciation for these, especially because they are more recent. However, they're facing extinction at the same rate, and we may not have them around forever. Now, how about humans? Something that we all know, something we all have in common with. We are all the same species, and we're also starting to suffer the same kind of fate. So, one thing that is really affecting us is our health is suffering more than ever before. According to the American Cancer Society, there's been 20 million new cases of cancer diagnosed yearly, especially in 2022. One enemy that we all have in common that I think is really causing these problems is two words: climate change. So with climate change, we're facing unprecedented global devastation, as well as no comfort left for human society and for our existence as a species on this earth. According to the Journal of Education for Sustainable Development from 2025, biodiversity, our natural resource depletion, and starvation are growing effects that are coming from our global climate change that we're facing, and they do tend to affect all of us. So think about it. For example, there's been major climate events recently, such as flooding in Venice that's threatening to devastate the city, or the fires we faced here in California earlier this year. Greater than even those global devastation effects and the effects on our environment, human health is also suffering from climate change. We're seeing human immunity go down at alarming rates. For example, according to the Photochemical and Photobiological Journal of Science in 2022, they were evaluating cataract levels in young humans, and it's showing that adults 20 and younger are now at 17% of the population of those adults 20 and under are suffering from cataracts, which is something that was unprecedented before. And one thing that we can do is realize that the issues that are tied to climate change don't only need to be solved by the few, but really the many, and we can mitigate these as common people. According to the Journal of Health Communications from 2024, even 56% of health officials agree that climate change is a growing issue, and unfortunately they don't have the resources or the funding or the support to be able to cause that widespread change. So what we can do starts in our own homes with ourselves. If we really value things such as our diversity on this planet, thinking of lush forests like the Amazon, and our vitality even as humans, and things like our eyesight, we really must group together to ensure that we're going to preserve our humanity and preserve the planet and its beauty that comes along with it. Two models that I would like to propose to my audience to encourage in their fellow family members, friends, strangers, are going to be the Learn, Think, and Act model, as well as the Comb model. So with the Learn, Think, Act model that is from the Sustainability Journal in 2025, it proposes that we must teach each other about what is happening with the planet, and with our own values and morals, we'll be able to think about it and take that into effect and realize how it affects us, and then that way we can enact change once we make that personal draw and we teach people about the actual effects of it. Things like relying on more reusable items instead of disposable, and relying on public transport instead of our own personal cars to help reduce CO2 emissions would help greatly. With the Comb model, it encourages us to remind each other of what is happening at all times, so that then we can take it on and take those opportunities to find ways that we can help in our day-to-day life. And from that, we can motivate each other to have more sustainable behaviors. That model is also from the Sustainability Journal in 2024. So, to conclude, I would really like to drive home to my audience again that the responsibility of taking care of our planet is not with the few, but it's really with the many. And we, as humans, it's our responsibility to encourage each other around us. Again, family, friends, strangers, that this responsibility lies on all of us. And I would like to encourage everybody, my audience particularly, to really take those two learning models in and put them into use in their day-to-day life. Educate the people around you. let it sink into them and make it realize how it's going to affect them personally, and remind them of ways that we can make small changes every day together so that we can all move towards a cleaner and greener tomorrow. Thank you.